Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to dive deep into the world of coin collecting, and the focus of this video is the 1973 United States one-dime coin, also known as the Roosevelt dime. If you are passionate about coins, curious about rare finds, or simply want to learn more about American coinage history, you're in the right place. This video will give you a complete, detailed, and SEO-rich overview of the 1973 Roosevelt dime, from its design and history to its mint marks, mintage numbers, metal composition, values, and why collectors still search for these coins today. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945. Roosevelt was chosen because of his tremendous leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his strong support of the March of Dimes, which helped fight polio. Designed by John R. Sinnott, the dime has kept the same design for decades. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of Roosevelt facing left, with the word Liberty, the motto In God We Trust, and the date. The designer's initials, JS, are located at the base of his neck. On the reverse side is the famous torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength and independence. The inscriptions read United States of America, E pluribus unum, and one dime. In 1973, the dime was minted at 3 U.S. mints. The Philadelphia Mint produced dimes without a mint mark, the Denver Mint produced dimes with a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins with an S mint mark. Proof coins are especially attractive to collectors because they were struck with polished dies and special planchets, resulting in sharp details and mirror-like finishes. Each mint plays an important role in the coin story, and mint marks often help collectors determine scarcity and value. The mintage numbers for the 1973 dime were very high, with hundreds of millions produced at both Philadelphia and Denver, while San Francisco contributed a little over 2.7 million proof coins. Because of these huge numbers, the 1973 dime is not considered rare in circulated grades, and many of them are still found in everyday change. However, condition matters a great deal, and uncirculated examples or proof coins with deep cameo contrast can still carry collector premiums. Like all dimes struck after 1965, the 1973 Roosevelt dime is made of a clad composition, a pure copper core with copper-nickel layers on the outside. The coin weighs 2.27 grams, measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Unlike earlier Roosevelt dimes from 1946 through 1964, which contained 90% silver, the 1973 dime has no silver content. Its face value remains 10 cents, and its metal content is worth even less, so the collectible value comes from its condition, grade, and rarity in high quality. Now let's talk about values. A circulated 1973 dime is usually only worth its face value, but an uncirculated example can sell for around $1 to $3. Coins graded mint state 65 and above start to become more desirable, and coins in MS 67 or higher can command much higher prices, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of dollars at auctions. Proof coins graded PR 69 or PR 70 with deep cameo contrast are also highly sought after. The most valuable 1973 dimes are those with minting errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets. These errors are rare, but when they appear, they can fetch significantly higher prices from collectors. For collectors who are building a full Roosevelt dime collection, the 1973 dime is a key date that must be included. Even though it is not rare, it represents an important part of the series and the history of U.S. coinage during the 1970s. Many collectors enjoy finding the best possible example of each year and mint mark, and the 1973 dime offers opportunities to compare coins from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. For beginners, the 1973 dime is also an excellent starting point. Because it's affordable and accessible, it allows new collectors to practice grading, identifying mint marks, and learning about proof versus circulation strikes. It also gives new hobbyists the chance to search through change, coin rolls, or coin shows for higher quality examples. When collecting dimes, proper storage is important. Avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning can damage their surfaces and reduce their value. Instead, store coins in protective holders, albums, or capsules. Keep them in a cool, dry environment to protect them from tarnish, humidity, and damage. Well-preserved coins not only hold their value but can also appreciate over time. The 1973 Roosevelt dime tells a story of American coinage at a time when clad coins had fully replaced silver, yet the design continued to honor Roosevelt's legacy. It reflects the history of U.S. mint production, the changes in metal composition, and the dedication to producing coins that serve everyday commerce while also appealing to collectors. So, whether you are searching for error coins, hunting for uncirculated gems, or building a full Roosevelt dime set, the 1973 dime deserves a place in your collection. It may not be the rarest coin, but it represents history, design, and the enduring popularity of Roosevelt dimes among collectors. First up today, we are going to talk in detail about the one-dime coin from the United States, minted in the year 1977. This is the Roosevelt dime, a coin that holds a special place in American coinage history. For the next 20 minutes, we will explore everything about the 1977 dime, including its design, history, composition, mintage numbers, interesting facts, errors, and collectible value. If you are a coin collector, a numismatics enthusiast, or simply someone curious about United States coins, this video will give you the most detailed overview of the 1977 Roosevelt dime. The dime is a 10-cent coin of the United States, and since 1946, it has featured the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. The 1977 one dime continues this tradition. On the obverse side, we see the portrait of Roosevelt facing left, with the word Liberty inscribed to the left side of the coin. The motto "In God We Trust" is located below his chin, and the year 1977 is struck toward the bottom. Also included is the mint mark, if there is one, located near the date. Depending on where it was minted, you may find no mint mark for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco proof coins. On the reverse side of the coin, we see the classic design that has been used for decades on the Roosevelt dime. It features a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left, representing peace, and an oak branch on the right, representing strength and independence. The words United States of America appear around the top edge, while E pluribus unum is inscribed across the center, and one dime is written on the bottom. This design is powerful in its simplicity and has become an iconic part of American currency. The composition of the 1977 Roosevelt dime is the same as other modern dimes from 1965 onwards. It is made of a clad composition consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. The coin has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, a thickness of 1.35 millimeters, and a weight of 2.27 grams. Its edge is reeded with 118 reeds. When we talk about the 1977 dime, we should also discuss the mintage. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, with no mint mark. The Denver Mint also struck a high number of 1,977 dimes marked with a D mint mark. Additionally, proof versions were produced at the San Francisco Mint, with the S mint mark, specifically intended for collectors. Because of these high mintage numbers, the 1977 dime is considered a common coin in circulated condition. However, in uncirculated condition, or in proof quality, it can hold value to collectors, especially if the coin is graded by professional services at higher mint state levels like MS-65 or higher. Collectors should also be aware of potential errors and varieties. While most 1977 Roosevelt dimes are standard issues, some error coins can exist. These include off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and coins struck on defective blanks. Such error dimes can be rare and much more valuable than regular coins. For example, a double die obverse or reverse from 1977 would be sought after, and even minor errors can increase value if collectors are interested in unique pieces. Another important thing to note is the proof coins from San Francisco. The 1977 S-proof Roosevelt dime was struck with extra care, using polished dies and special planchets, resulting in mirror-like finishes. These coins are usually found in proof sets and can still be collected today. Some may even show cameo or deep cameo contrasts, making them more desirable to collectors. When it comes to value, most 1977 dimes in circulation are worth their face value of 10 cents, since they are common and not made of silver. However, uncirculated examples, especially in mint state condition, can be worth more, often between $1 and a few dollars depending on grade. Proof coins from 1977s can also hold additional value, especially if preserved well or if they show deep cameo surfaces. Rare error coins, of course, can be worth significantly more, sometimes even reaching into the hundreds of dollars depending on rarity and demand. The 1977 dime is part of a larger story of American coinage. Roosevelt was chosen for the dime shortly after his death in 1945 because of his strong association with the March of Dimes campaign, which helped fight polio, a disease Roosevelt himself battled. The design by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time, has stood the test of time and continues to represent American values on the 10-cent coin. For collectors, the 1977 dime might not be the rarest, but it is a necessary piece to complete a Roosevelt dime collection, especially if you are putting together a date and mint mark set. Finding high-grade examples, pristine proofs, or unique errors can add interest and value to your collection. Even though the coin is not silver, it still connects us to history. Silver Roosevelt dimes were minted up to 1964, after which the clad composition was introduced due to rising silver prices. So by 1977, the dime was well into its clad era, but still held the same trusted design that Americans were familiar with. When examining your own 1977 dime, pay attention to details like strike quality, mint luster, surface marks, and overall eye appeal. Coins in higher grades with fewer scratches and more shine are always more appealing to collectors. Proof coins should be checked for clarity and contrast. Errors, as mentioned earlier, can make a big difference in value, so always check carefully. In summary, the one-dime coin from the United States, minted in 1977, is a part of the Roosevelt dime series that continues to circulate today. It carries the iconic portrait of President Roosevelt on the front, with the enduring symbols of liberty, peace, and strength on the back. It is common in circulation, but collectible in higher grades and proof versions. Error coins can be very valuable, and every coin tells a story of American history and coinage tradition. So, if you are searching through your change, going through coin rolls, or looking into coin collections, keep an eye out for the 1977 dime. You may discover an uncirculated beauty, a proof with mirror-like surfaces, or even a rare error that adds real value to your collection. Next up in this video, we are going to take a deep dive into the history, details, and collector value of the 1983 Roosevelt dime from the United States. Whether you are a coin collector, a beginner interested in numismatics, or just curious about the history behind small coins in your pocket change, this discussion will cover everything you need to know about the 1983 dime with the Philadelphia mint mark. So let's explore its background, specifications, varieties, and potential value in the coin collecting market. The 1983 Roosevelt dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was deeply connected to the March of Dimes campaign that helped fight polio, so the dime became the natural choice to commemorate him after his death in 1945. The design has remained largely unchanged since 1946, featuring Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and a torch with branches of olive and oak on the reverse. The year 1983 was no exception, and the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these dimes for circulation. On the obverse of the 1983 dime, you'll find the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. Above his head is the word liberty, while the motto "In God We Trust" appears on the left side. The date, 1983, appears just below the neck, and the mint mark P is located above the year. The Philadelphia mint mark is important because it distinguishes this coin from those made in Denver or San Francisco. The initials of the coin's designer, John R. Sinnock, can be seen at the base of Roosevelt's neck. On the reverse side, you'll notice the symbolic torch in the center, representing liberty, with an olive branch on the left symbolizing peace and an oak branch on the right symbolizing strength. The Latin motto E pluribus unum is displayed across the design, and the denomination 1 dime appears at the bottom with United States of America around the top. In terms of technical details, the 1983 P dime was struck in a composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, also known as a copper-nickel clad coin. Its weight is 2.27 grams, and it measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter with a reeded edge. Unlike earlier silver dimes produced before 1965, the 1983 dime contains no silver. That means its face value is 10 cents, and its intrinsic metal value is only a few cents, depending on copper and nickel market prices. Now let's talk about mintage and availability. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 518 million dimes in 1983. With such a large mintage, the 1983 P dime is considered common in circulated condition. Finding one in your pocket change is not unusual, and millions remain in circulation today. However, as with many modern US coins, the true value lies not in the common worn examples but in coins that have been preserved in excellent condition or those that feature rare errors. Collectors often look for coins in mint state grades, which means coins that were never circulated and still have their original luster. A 1983 P dime in average circulated condition is usually only worth its face value of 10 cents. But in higher mint state grades, especially MS-65 and above, the value can increase significantly. For example, a 1983p dime graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services can sell for much more to collectors who want top-quality examples. These premium coins are scarcer because circulation and handling quickly wear down the soft details of the design. Another factor that makes the 1983p dime interesting to collectors is the possibility of errors and varieties. US coins are sometimes struck with mistakes, and these error coins can be worth many times their face value. For the 1983 dime, collectors search for examples with off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, or misaligned dies. While these errors are not extremely common, they can add significant value when they appear. For instance, an off-center 1983 dime with a clear date and mint mark could attract strong collector interest. Double die obverse or reverse varieties, though not widely reported for this year, are also possibilities to look out for. Another area of interest for collectors is proof coins. While the Philadelphia Mint did not produce proofs in 1983, the San Francisco Mint did strike special proof Roosevelt dimes for collectors as part of annual proof sets. These proof coins feature mirror-like surfaces and sharp details, making them distinct from circulation strikes. Even though your 1983p dime is not a proof, knowing about the San Francisco issues helps understand the complete picture of Roosevelt dimes from that year. It's worth noting that coin collectors often build complete date and mint mark sets of Roosevelt dimes, which means every year and every mint mark is represented. For someone collecting all Roosevelt dimes, the 1983p is a required piece, even if it is common. That demand keeps interest alive for this otherwise ordinary-looking coin. Now let's focus on the market value in more detail. As of today, most circulated 1983p Roosevelt dimes are worth only face value. In mint state condition, they can bring anywhere from a couple of dollars up to $20 or more depending on grade. In the highest certified grades, especially MS-67 and MS-68, prices can climb much higher, sometimes reaching into the hundreds. Collectors are always on the lookout for the best preserved examples, so quality is key. Error coins can range in value dramatically based on type and visibility of the mistake. Even a small error can raise the price to several dollars, while dramatic errors can make the coin worth much more. For new collectors, finding a 1983p dime in your change can be a fun way to get started in numismatics. It's inexpensive, widely available, and gives you a chance to study coin design, mint marks, and circulation wear. For experienced collectors, the challenge lies in finding high-grade examples or unusual varieties that stand out from the millions of ordinary strikes. The Roosevelt dime series overall has a special place in U.S. coinage history. Since 1946, it has honored one of America's most influential presidents, and it continues to circulate widely today. The 1983p dime may not be rare in most cases, but it is still an important piece of the larger series and of 1980s U.S. coinage. Each coin has its own story, and when you hold a dime from 1983, you're holding a piece of history that has been part of American commerce for over 40 years. If you are collecting Roosevelt dimes, make sure to protect them properly. Store uncirculated or high-grade coins in protective holders to prevent scratches and tarnish. Avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning can actually reduce their value. If you suspect you have a rare error or a coin in exceptional condition, consider having it graded by a professional grading service for authentication and preservation. To sum up, the 1983p Roosevelt dime from the United States is a common but historically meaningful coin. It has a mintage of over 518 million, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and features the classic Roosevelt dime design by John R. Sinnott. In circulated condition, it is worth face value, but in mint state grades or with rare errors, it can be worth significantly more. Collectors appreciate this coin as part of a complete set and as an opportunity to study U.S. coinage from the 1980s. Now we will explore, and today we are going to talk in detail about the 1987D Roosevelt dime from the United States. This 10-cent coin, minted in Denver in the year 1987, carries not only its face value of one dime but also a story that attracts coin collectors, history lovers, and numismatists from around the world. The 1987D dime is a small coin, but it holds big significance when it comes to American coinage, minting history, and the ongoing popularity of Roosevelt dimes. By exploring its design, composition, mintage, errors, value, and collector demand, we can fully understand why this coin continues to generate interest today. The 1987D dime features the portrait of Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the obverse. His image has appeared on the United States dime since 1946, honoring his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his association with the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio. On the obverse of the coin, you can see the word Liberty, the motto In God We Trust, the date 1987, and the mint mark D, which indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. The initials JS, for designer John Sinnott, are also visible at the base of Roosevelt's portrait. The reverse design shows a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength. Above is the inscription United States of America, below is the denomination 1 dime, and the phrase E pluribus unum stretches across the field. The composition of the 1987 D dime is the same as other modern Roosevelt dimes. It is made of a copper core with a cupronickel outer layer, giving it a total composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The coin weighs 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters with a reeded edge. These specifications have been standard since 1965, when silver was removed from the dime due to rising metal prices. Because of this, the 1987 D dime is not a silver coin, but rather a clad coin with no intrinsic metal value beyond its face value. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint struck a large number of 1987 D dimes. Over 641 million examples were produced, making this a very common coin in circulation. With such a high mintage, most 1987 D dimes are only worth face value if they are circulated. However, uncirculated and high-grade examples can command more interest from collectors. Mint state coins graded MS65 or higher may carry a small premium, and superb gems in MS67 or MS68 condition are scarcer and more desirable. Professional grading services often certify these higher-grade dimes, which can help collectors verify authenticity and condition. While most 1987 D dimes are common, error coins can sometimes bring extra attention. Collectors seek out dimes with off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, clipped planchets, or other unusual minting mistakes. Such errors are not extremely common, but when they appear, they can sell for more than face value depending on rarity and demand. Another factor collectors watch for is full torch detail on the reverse, also called full bands. A 1987 D dime with sharp details and fully separated bands on the torch is considered a better quality strike and may be valued more highly. When it comes to value, circulated examples are generally only worth 10 cents. Uncirculated examples may sell for around 50 cents to a few dollars depending on the grade. Certified high-grade examples in MS67 or higher can sometimes bring $20 or more. Error coins and unique pieces can vary widely in price, depending on the type and quality of the error. Collectors often pay premiums for coins with attractive toning, strong luster, or eye appeal. The 1987 D dime also carries importance in the timeline of Roosevelt dimes. Since the series began in 1946, it has remained one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The Denver Mint has consistently produced dimes each year, and the 1987 issue is one of many high-mintage modern dimes that represent everyday coinage in circulation. Collectors who build complete Roosevelt dime sets need examples of every date and mint mark, including the 1987 D dime, even though it is not rare. For coin collectors, the 1987 D dime is often a starting point for learning about mint marks, condition, grading, and collecting practices. It demonstrates how modern clad coins differ from older silver dimes, and it shows the importance of paying attention to details like luster, strike quality, and mint errors. Even though millions were minted, a coin in pristine condition or with a striking error can stand out in a collection. When looking for 1987 D dimes, collectors should search through pocket change, rolls of dimes from banks, or coin shows and dealers. While most examples are common, finding a gem-quality piece can be rewarding. Collectors also use magnification tools to look for small varieties or errors that may increase a coin's desirability. Because the Denver Mint produced such a high quantity, most coins have average strikes, but with patience, sharp and attractive examples can be found. In summary, the 1987 D Roosevelt dime may appear ordinary at first glance, but it holds a special place in American coinage history. From its portrait of Franklin Roosevelt and symbolic reverse design, to its massive mintage, copper-nickel composition, and potential for collectible errors, this dime tells the story of modern U.S. coin production. For beginners and seasoned numismatists alike, the 1987 D dime is a reminder that even common coins can be interesting when you explore their history, design, and collecting possibilities. Whether you are collecting by date and mint mark, searching for high-grade examples, or hunting for errors, the 1987 D dime offers opportunities to learn and enjoy the hobby of coin collecting.